Good evening. Welcome to the City of Joliet Pre-Council meeting for Monday, December 1st, 2025 at 5:30 in City Hall Council Chambers with the Mayor Terry Darcy presiding.
We'll begin with roll call. Mayor Darcy.
Here.
Councilman Cardenas.
Here.
Councilman Clement.
Here.
Councilman Hug.
Here.
Councilwoman Ibarra.
Here.
Councilman Moreno.
Here.
Councilman Mudrin.
Here.
Councilwoman Quillman.
Here.
Councilwoman Reardon.
Here.
First, we have a presentation, 2026 budget presentation by Kevin Singh, Director of Finance.
Good evening again. So tonight I wanted to focus primarily on the capital portion of the fiscal year 2026 budget. I'll also recap a little bit more on the operations and the total budget as a whole. So capital funds are in various different funds within the city, ranging from motor fuel tax, vehicle replacements, government capital, parking, and then the sewer and water funds. So the funding sources for capital come from, on the government side, casino gaming revenues. So a couple of years ago, we took our casino revenues and we allocated them to fund capital improvements. They also come from our local fuel tax for vehicle replacements. We receive an allotment from the state of Illinois' fuel tax, and then we also seek and receive grants as they become available. For sewer and water, we collect funds from utility rates dedicated and use those for capital improvements. Once again, we also seek and receive grants, and then we use debt. So some highlights for the capital, government capital for 2026. Roads and sidewalks. So in the various funds, there's just shy of $23.5 million for roads and sidewalks. It's broken out about a little over $5.5 million in the capital, government capital fund, small amount in general fund, and then most of it is in motor fuel tax fund. And then the amounts that we have set aside is roughly, or the equivalent of roughly 43 lane miles of roadways, of new road work. We also have a Public Safety Institute in partnership with JJC. We've budgeted to use $7 million. Not sure exactly how much that will come, but that represents the amount we received from a development fee from the Compass Business Park, which is restricted for that type of use. We also have some specialty vehicles for the fire department, 2 pumper trucks totaling about $2.4 million, and then a technical response vehicle for $225,000. And then police, we have various equipments from ballistic shields, drone program, and then replacing gas masks that are aged quite a bit in the police department. Then we've also got $300,000 to continue our deployment of security cameras throughout the city to increase public safety. For sewer and water, we're continuing our water main replacement down a little bit for this year. It represents roughly 18 miles of roadway. It's debt. We fund that through combination of loans, bonds, and low interest loans through the Illinois EPA. We also continue our Lake Michigan water program. We've got almost $28 million programmed in the budget for our improvements to be able to accept Lake Michigan water. And then as part of Grand Prairie Water Commission, we've got about $38 million that we're on the have in our budget to go fund towards our contribution to that. Continuing the West Side wastewater treatment plant expansion design. Also have just under $2.5 million on the sewer collection system, so that's a sanitary sewer. Just under $6.5 million for water, and $4.7 million for sanitary sewer itself. For vehicle replacements, this is funded by our local fuel tax. We're replacing 31 vehicles, just shy of $3.5 million. 15 police vehicles, 4 large dump trucks, street sweeper, 7 roadways trucks, an electrical service truck, and 3 inspector/admin vehicles. For sewer and water, looking to replace 2 dump trucks. Moving into the total budget itself, or comprehensive budget, shaping up to be just shy of $650 million. So some of the highlights are what makes up that budget. $222 million is the general fund. We've got $38 million of employee/retiree insurance, $28.6 million in capital projects, $3.7 million in vehicle replacements. Sewer and water operating is $95.7 million. Sewer and water capital is $196 million, and then we've got some expenditures of tax increment financing district funds. Breaking out the general fund expenses, you've got 153 million in workforce pay and benefits, contract services the next largest at 24.1 million, repairs and maintenance of 6.4, utilities at 4.3, and then fuel for our fleet of 1.7 million. Those are funded primarily through sales taxes, 81 million. Our share from the state of Illinois of income tax, use tax, and personal property replacement tax is 33.6 million. We bill for refuse at 17 million. The fire department bills out for ambulance service, 14.5 million, and then building permits represent 5.2 million. Next steps through the budget is we're continuing one-on-one meetings. I want to thank those that I've met with so far and have on the books for scheduling. I know a few of you have reached out already to schedule some meetings, so look forward to continuing those. We did release the drafts a little over a week ago. Public hearing is tomorrow. And just want to summarize, the public hearing is required by statute to give the public the ability to comment on our budget. It can be changed after the public hearing, but it gives them the ability to be heard on that budget. And then potential adoption, or looking for adoption on the 16th. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Mayor?
Can I ask a question too?
Kevin, I sent you a message earlier, and, it's nice to sit up here and listen to the public, and just from personal observation, like tree replacement, the asphalt hot boxes, sidewalks and roadways, the free parking downtown, that's this downtown sweeper, which I believe is on the agenda, our entryways, thank you, Mayor, for that. But my thing is the weeds. Is there anything set aside to tackle the weeds and the entryways and the intersections? I say it every year. This is probably my 5th year, and I'm gonna hold everybody's feet to the fire. I want to clean up the city, and those are kind of things that I'd like to have a priority on. And I didn't know if anything was set aside for that.
Yeah, talking with Greg Ruddy, Public Works Director, did allocate at least 200,000 for weed maintenance and landscape maintenance. Also, there's some other landscape maintenance mixed throughout the budget, so there's at least 200,000 for that.
Yeah, Greg, I'd love to really tackle that this spring. Not in June, but I want to get it right out of the gate, so we don't have these weeds 3 or 4 feet high. I appreciate everything you do, and you guys did a great job with the snow. So let everybody know that, but that's something I really want to tackle this year. So I appreciate it. Thank you. Yep.
Quick question.
Yeah, but Larry, go ahead. I just want to ask, we definitely have to have a meeting, because 23 million for sidewalks and roads, can I get that more broken down if we meet one-on-one? Because that seems like a lot of money.
Yeah, there's
And I don't see that, but
Yep.
I mean, you can explain it to me.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into that. I'd be happy to go through.
Yeah, that would be so fantastic.
Yeah, there's a number of projects in the
Okay, I'll reach out to you. Thank you.
Yeah, Kevin, you and I discussed it as far as dedicated funds for sidewalks. Right now, the way it runs, the money we have for roads/sidewalks, it's kind of discretion on how much can be spent. I mean, it's fluid. You
Yeah.
know. And you said you would look into it. I thought that we should probably double the sidewalks, because we're just not getting it done fast enough. I think you can tell me we spent 1.2 or 1.4 million on sidewalks last year.
That I don't remember. I'd have to defer to Greg on that one.
And if we can commit money to sidewalks, double what we've spent this year to next year, because we need to speed up the sidewalks. Remember you and I talked about that?
Yeah, I relayed that to Public Works Director as well.
But I'd like to see it as a budget item, making sure
Yeah.
it's,
I will say, the way I've got the budget set up is, the council, the city could spend up to 5 million in sidewalks if they wanted to. It gives you that ability to use those resources for roads or sidewalks,
but it can spend as little as how much?
as little as you guys approve.
Right, because it's not a set number,
Yeah.
right? Sidewalks is not a set number, it's allowable under the umbrella of roads, and I'd like to get a set number of double of whatever we've been doing the last couple of years. Just to refresh people's minds, there was a time we were doing about $250,000 a year, and we eventually got up to $1 million. I want to say either this year or last year, we peaked at 1.2 or 1.4 million on sidewalks. We need to double that commitment. So if you could look into doing that. Thanks.
I'll talk to you. Thank you.
Any other comments or questions?
Yeah, I just have one. Now that we've had a huge snowstorm, what I really want to know is, I know we have 4 snowplows on reserve for, because it takes a while to order them, so that we'll be getting in the next year. And you don't have to answer this now, like I want you guys to think about it and let the council know if you feel like even that's enough to not have to sub out, but actually have our own. Let me just tell you, I got no complaints from my district, and everyone was super, super happy. I got a couple of very off complaints from another district, not a big deal at all. But I want to know, like, I want us to be thinking way ahead to say, is this really enough? If we have a huge winter season, is it enough so we can think ahead for like the future years? Thank you.
Okay, next is citizens to be heard on agenda items. Is there anyone who would like to speak on an agenda item this evening? Okay, seeing none, we will move on. We will have the city manager review tomorrow night's actionable items.
Okay. Tomorrow we will have an appointment to the Board of Police and Fire. We will hear from the Land Use and Economic Development Committee and Public Service. Under consent agenda, we have invoices to be paid. Moving on to Council Memo 63025, award of contract to Precision Truck Center for the engine rebuild of ladder truck Fire Department 779 in the amount of $28,454.54. A replacement unit is unavailable, and we must rebuild this engine due to the age and style of the unit, so that's why we're doing it instead of getting a whole new one. Council Memo 63125, award of contract for the 2025 roadways resurfacing contract A to PT Fair Construction in the amount of $516,142.58. I believe this is the Manningdale subdivision on the southeast side at Mills Road and Rowell Avenue. It's part of our annual roadway resurfacing program, and I believe the township just recently resurfaced a lot of their roads that are around there, and we took a look and thought probably be good if we do them around there too, so they're just taken care of. Council Memo 63225, approval of purchase of one compact electric sweeper from the Brown Equipment Company in the amount of $342,523. This would be a sweeper that could help us downtown and in the parking deck. It qualifies for a $100,000 reimbursable grant and was budgeted in 2025 for the year, and funds are still available.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, I'm glad we're doing this. You know, I think I brought it up a couple of years ago, and you know, Larry, we talked, or he spoke about it. You know, is it going to take care of the whole city or whatever? But my thinking was, you know, downtown, it's coming around. There's something nice to have to be able to keep it clean down there, and I'm glad that we're moving forward with this, or at least it's on the agenda.
Yeah, it will be helpful because it's a smaller machine that can fit into the smaller spaces that we don't have right now.
Yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Council Memo 63325, award of contract for the district meter area chamber installation project to PT Faro Construction in the amount of $267,550. As part of the city's water loss program, a project was designed to install water meters at various locations throughout the city so the water distribution system can be subdivided into smaller networks, which will help us find where water loss is occurring as well. The project to install the meter chamber vaults was designed, and you approved that in July of 2025. Which will add 23 meters, resulting in a total of 12 different zones that we'll have broken up into very specific zones that Allison's talked about before that can help us like narrow down where this loss is coming from. So we're just following protocols on, you know, how to best figure out where this water loss is coming from, and Allison's doing a great job with her team on that.
Real quick, Mayor. Actually, I'll pile on there.
Yeah.
In our Public Service Committee meeting, Allison, it's pretty impressive. At least for us water geeks, right, Allison? Last month is the first time in God knows how long, if ever, not in my tenure on this council, we only had 2 water main breaks in a month. So we're about 50% done with the water main projects, you know, replacements. and we're starting to see the return finally. I was about to ask it. She must have been reading my mind, because I was going to ask it at the end of our committee, but she laid it out for us, said that we're at about 50%, right, Allison, roughly? And two, and you know, normally what do we have? We would have at least probably a dozen on any given month in the old
Yeah,
days.
right, 10 or 12, yeah.
Okay, so that's even more good news on top of what you just said.
Yeah, great news. Thank you. Council Memo 63425, approval of amendment number 1 to the professional services agreement for engineering design services for the Des Plaines River Tunnel Crossing Rehabilitation Project for the water main replacement program to Jacobs Associates doing business as Delve Underground in the amount of $266,630. This contract will be a detailed design of the tunnel rehabilitation and replacement of the water main in the tunnel. On June 4th of 2024, the mayor and city council approved the preliminary design, and so now we're doing a detailed design for this tunnel. And the scope of the project that we did before this detailed one was this structural assessment of the tunnel, surveying and soil bearing. So now we're getting more into the details of what that tunnel looks like under the water and what additional work we need to do. Council Memo 63525, approval of change order number 1 for the 2025 sanitary sewer cleaning and inspection program to Pipeview America in the amount of $82,779.94. So this change order is a net increase in the amount of $82,779.94. It's a result of the following: balancing of quantities, lateral locating for the 2025 water main replacement projects, addition of televising the sanitary sewer of the Southeast Joliet Sanitary District, which we will be reimbursed by the county. Is that right, Allison? For the
Yes, so we're doing sewer televising and cleaning in the Southeast Joliet Sanitary District area, and then we will get reimbursed by the county for that work.
Okay, moving on to agenda items. Council Memo 63725, award of business continuity grant for the total amount of $63,733.50 to Cut 158 Incorporated. Cut 158 is eligible for a total grant amount of $63,733.50, which requires city council approval. I've also been through recently, people had questions about the program. I don't know if there's any more questions now. I handed out like a fact sheet about when we passed this, how it's helping the downtown businesses. This is the last tranche because we've opened Chicago Street now. So, and Bill is here if you have any questions for him, but we recommend adopting.
Mayor? Beth, anything to under 25,000 doesn't come for vote, so we don't review it. You're allowed.
That's correct. Anything under
Can you give us
25.
an exhaustive list of who's gotten what?
Sure. Yeah, I'd be happy to
Before
send that to you.
tomorrow's-
I don't have it right
No,
on me
before
right now.
tomorrow's meeting.
Sure. Yeah, that's no problem.
Email it.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm happy to provide that information if you want me to provide
You have
it.
it right now? Do you want it right now? Oh, Pauline has it.
Sure.
Yes, so good evening, council members. For fiscal year 2025, the businesses that have received grants under $25,000 are Internode, Musa Greek Tavern, Juliet's Tavern, and Uranuna. We also have 3 other businesses that are in the pipeline to receive funding, including Amalove, which is a boutique store on Chicago Street, and Kula's Jewelry.
So exhaustively, it would be 7 businesses. 4 already got it in 25, and 3 are applying for it.
That is correct.
How about in 24?
If you don't have it, Pauline, that's okay. We
Yeah,
can,
I didn't
we can
get it.
email them tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I
Okay.
said email it.
Yeah, yeah.
Put nobody on the
Yeah.
spot.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, so if you can give,
She's
yeah.
just prepared, but yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
yeah. Could someone make a note of that? I forgot my pen. Okay. Where did I leave off?
6:38.
I just lost my place. 6:38:25?
Yep. Yes.
Is the next one? Thanks. Approval of change order number 2 for the Plainfield Road, Theodore Street to Black Street Water Main Improvement Project to Austin Tyler Construction, Inc. for a decreased amount of $1,735,236.11 and pay estimate number 11 and final in the amount of $564,960.68. Change order number 2 is a net decrease for the following work: time extension to contract milestones due to change field changes and staging for restoration, balancing of final qualities, and quantity adjustments. Change order number 2 also includes a time extension of 91 days due to delays from conditions and traffic realignments for restoration. We won't have any licenses or permit applications tomorrow. We'll move along to public hearing. Council Memo 64025, public hearing for the 2026 fiscal year budget, which is the opportunity for all of our residents to come out and let us know what they think about the budget and, express themselves and give their feedback so we can take that into account before you pass it. So we encourage all residents who can come out to please do that tomorrow. Ordinances and resolutions. Ordinances, Council Memo 64225, ordinance for the levy and assessment of taxes for the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2025 and ending December 31st, 2025 in and for the Joliet Public Library, Will and Kendall counties in Illinois. Any questions on that? Do you want Kevin to go over it, or is everybody, this is like routine that we do every year, but happy to refresh recollections if needed. Okay. Council Memo 64325, ordinance for the levy and assessment of taxes for the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2025 and ending December 31st in and for the city of Joliet, Will and Kendall counties, Illinois. Council Memo 64425, ordinance authorizing amendments to the rules and regulations of the Board of Fire and Police Commissioners of the City of Joliet. So this is, there's a scrivener's error where a word is changed from of to or. And then, Todd, do you want to, the other one was a cert qualification?
There's actually 2 other things. Military preference points, we made that consistent between fire and police and cleaned up the language so it's more clear. And the main reason we brought this is preference points to allow cert. So the state law allows us to give 5 points for unique categories. So the board rules will just reflect the state statute. Okay. Thank you.
Resolutions? Oops, sorry. Resolutions. Council Memo 64625, resolution approving the dedication of a portion of Maple Street as a public right-of-way. So the property lines right now extend to the middle of the street. That's where the right-of-way ends, and so we're fixing it by, it'll come to the curb then instead of the middle of the street, because we're obviously responsible for streets. Council Memo 64725, resolution for the Surface Transportation Program local match commitment for the Theodore Street east of Brighton Lane to Illinois Route 59 roadway widening improvement project. So this is a grant application that will be for the construction portion of the project, which is estimated to be $2,844,800. $80% of the federal government will pay, which is $2,275,840. And this resolution is just stating that the city can cover 20% of the cost, so feds 80, city 20, and that we will have available through MFT funding $568,960 for the 20%. Council Memo 64825, resolution approving an easement agreement for water delivery structure by and between the City of Joliet and the Grand Prairie Water Commission. So the city owns property on which the Grand Prairie Water Commission will construct a water delivery structure, which will be the primary point of delivery of water from the commission to the city. The city and the commission have negotiated mutual acceptable terms of an easement agreement for water delivery structure for the primary point of delivery consistent with the water supply agreement. Council Memo 64925, resolution authorizing execution of an intergovernmental agreement between the City of Joliet and the State of Illinois for the city's use of the Joliet Correctional Center. So the City of Joliet entered into an intergovernmental agreement with the Illinois Department of Corrections and the Illinois Department of Central Management Services on December 27, 2017 for temporary possession and control of the old Joliet prison for stabilization, maintenance, and redevelopment purposes. This is a proposed extension. The state did agree to an additional 3 years. It will include the same property lines that it did before. So this is what we've been talking about, that we've been negotiating with the state. We finally reached an agreement, and so we can get an additional 3 years on that. And the reason why we're not just, the state would love to give us this property, but there's still a lot of work that needs to be done there. So getting a longer lease, for now is better to see how much they can help us with funding on these properties and environmental things, et cetera. Our state representatives and senators, are supportive of that. So.
Mayor? Yeah, Joe. Beth, this does not have anything to do with the east side of the road property over there. This is just strictly the,
Oh, it is?
It includes it. There was certain items. So the main difference between this agreement and what we've had prior is the state gets control over over the activities that go on out there. So the museum basically has to apply. There's certain items that they've already applied for and been approved. But going forward, anything else they need to apply for. So the property description that was in the last couple agreements is exactly the same as this.
okay. Thank you.
That concludes the agenda.
Okay, next we have public comments. Is there anyone who would like to address the council this evening? Okay. Seeing none, I did receive a request for closed session. Is there a motion to go into closed session to discuss personnel, collective bargaining, land acquisition or conveyance, pending or threatened litigation, after which the meeting will adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded to approve. Councilman Cardenas?
Aye.
Councilman Clement?
Aye.
Councilman Hug?
Aye.
Councilwoman Navarro?
Aye.
Councilman Moreno?
Aye.
Councilman Mudron?
Aye.
Councilwoman Quillman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Reardon?
Aye.
Mayor Darcy?
Aye.